Okay, so the next question in our list of interaction is the hotspot question. So going ahead and clicking the... Okay, so the next question in our series of interaction is the hotspot question. So let's go ahead and click on that one. And upon clicking on it, we have a couple of boxes that appear. The layout is a little bit different than the multiple choice question. And so let's dive right into it. So straight off the bat, you can see that you have your same parameters, but they're at the top left here. So if I click anywhere else on the image, or if I click on save, actually, I can't do this yet because you see some warning messages. I have to fill up the information first. So we will go out and do that first. Okay, so next on the list of interaction is the hotspot questions. This is the second question in our choices of question. So let's go ahead and click to see what it gives us. We have a different layout than the multiple choice question this time. And so every time you click on one of those, the boxes have a little text to put you in context. So this one here says, please enter a question title here and then select answers in the toolbox to start adding them to the video. So basically, this is where you ask your question. So we will go again with the same kind of reasoning that we had for the previous question with the tools. So let's ask a question. Which tool is a screwdriver? Okay. So again, like many interactions that we've seen so far, you can drag the handles to resize your text. We'll do this. You can move it around again. So for now, I don't know, let's just leave it here. On the left is the pop-up window, which we are familiar with, where you can format the text. So I don't know, I can put this in bold, put this in the center. The second tab is the appearance tab. Again, we've gone through this, so I'm going to take a style very quickly. We have I'll skip the answer for now. At the bottom, we have the action tab, which we are also familiar with. It's exactly the same one as the multiple choice question. So we can decide, we can do some tweak about where it appears in the timeline. Again, if you change it, you can see that the frames are changing to show where you are in the timeline. And so the new tab, which is the last one, which is a little bit different, is the answers tab. This is where we're gonna put our answers. Now, if you click on that one, it says selected answer, please select or add an answer. We don't have an answer set up yet. And so for this type of question, and we will see as well with the other drag and drop question, what we are doing is we are creating elements, and we can create as many as we want to kind of start a gamification experience. So let's start by adding those elements. So we simply click on the button here, which says add. So we'll add an element, and clicking on this will ask you what type of elements you want to add. Basically, add a new answer hotspot. We have a text box, a circle, a hotspot, and an image. Now, if those remind you of something, these are the basic interactions. So we already know how they work. So let's start by a text box, for example, or well, maybe we'll go with a hotspot. Let's say that I could be holding a hammer in my hand or a pouch on my back, and I want to specify that this is the good area where there's a screwdriver hanging in the back, for example. And so this would be our good answer. So you could put the hotspot to be like, hey, this is where you have to click. So you have your answer right here, and I can specify that it's a good answer by clicking on the good answer. For now, I won't do that. Let's say that this is not the good answer. I cannot do that because I only have one answer, but adding other ones, you'll see that you can just choose that one good answer. So this kind of brings up to our second point. We cannot only have one answer. We need multiple answers. So we'll start by adding other ones. So again, clicking on add, we can add a text box. So again, it's the same element. This is my second answer, and this one could be, for example, this is a hammer. You could set up simply kind of like a multiple choice question if you want, but more in a way where you have a bunch of different boxes, and you put your answers with the layout that you prefer. You could do that as well. So as you'll see, there's many different ways to set those up. And I'll add another type of answer, which is, I won't go with the circle because the circle is exactly the same as the hotspot, but we'll do my personal favorite one, the image. So clicking on image, it's the same thing again. You have a image box that appears here. Now, if I click on it and I go, and this is very important, again, like the other interactions, in order to load an image, you have to upload it. So going in the appearance tab, exactly like the image interaction, you will remember the upload button. So clicking on that one opens the library, and we will go grab our three types of tool. So first one is the hammer. So clicking on it, you can see that the hammer is appearing with its transparency, depending whether you want the transparency or not. It comes with a drop shadow, but if you want, you could put nothing at all. This all depends on your style that you chose earlier. I'll leave that one here with the border. I think that fits properly. So we have our hammer here. Now, what I will do is I'll move my elements around, and I'll actually choose the images because this is the best way to really show like what type of answers would be really nice with a hotspot question. So I'll go ahead and add another element. Again, I'll try to do this quick now. Another image. I can upload it. This one will be the screwdriver. I have my screwdriver right here. I'll put the same appearance. I'll lay it here. I'm trying to do this fast. Now, obviously, this is the good answer. Which tool is a screwdriver? I believe it would be that one. So now if we click on answer, we have a choice of choosing multiple answers, but for us, we only have one. And this is the good answer. You can see right away that the highlight in green went from this one to that one to signify that this is the good answer. So I'll keep moving along, adding another one would be my last image. And again, we're going to go upload in appearance. We'll upload another image. And this will be the pliers. I have them right here. Okay. So I have my three images here. Now, let's say I want to delete that answer. I simply go in answer. I click on the one that I want to delete. I go in answers and I click on delete. And I'll do the same with this one here. Delete as well. Now, again, it's always, you have all of your elements here. You can always click on them, drag them whenever you want. So let's say I want to change the place of my answer button. I'll move it down here. You see how fast you can modify your project. It's really wonderful. So let's put those here. I'll tell you about this box after, but I'll just put my question like so. All right, we're almost done. Now we have one last box, and this one says, please click here to set the feedback or leave empty for a more generic message. We have one last box. This one says, please click here to set the feedback or leave empty for a more generic message. If you says, kind of like the multiple choice question, if you leave it empty, it will say good answer or wrong answer or a similar message, but I believe it's that one. But if I want to do a custom feedback like we've seen before, you simply click on that box, and we have now a new tab, which is called the feedback tab. So this is information we already know. Feedback on success, feedback on fail. Let's say, again, good job. And on fail, you could say, for example, Mistake has been made. Try again. So those are my two feedbacks depending on if the answer is good or not. Again, I can resize my box. Now just make sure that if you resize, it's the same box. So if you resize it very small like this, just to fit the answer on success, which is the one displaying, if the person failed and the sentence is bigger, like we see here, it might be that the text will wrap and it will create a scroll bar. So just make sure that you test in the preview the question in the end and make sure that the text will wrap accordingly. To make it look a little bit nicer, I'll go change the appearance. So in appearance, you can again go grab the same one. So this is it. And I can put this anywhere I want for now. This only displays when you finish the answer, so I'll put it on top of it. So you'll see after that why I put it on top of it. You'll see the question behind, and then when you put the feedback will show up on top of it. So this is it for my hotspot question. One last thing, you can also click on the answer button if you want, and you can also change the appearance depending on how you lay out your button. You could set it up like this, for example. Change also its I'll leave it like that. So we have this set up. This is a very nice question. We can also play with the layering as we saw before. If we click on save, now one thing to remember, if you have not filled up all of this information, you will have warning windows asking you, for example, you forgot to put a title, you forgot this or you forgot that. So make sure you fill up all the information before saving. If not, it's not the end of the world. It will just prompt you to fill that information. Just make sure you do. So if I click on save, I should be okay. I have my question right here. And again, I can play with the layering. I can erase it. If I double click or if I click on edit question, I will be able to edit it again. Now I added 3 answers, but like we saw earlier as well, we can add as many as we want, and we can have a minimum of 2 answers as well. And so this is it. So let's see what it looks like by going in the preview mode. We'll go where our question appear. And you see the question appearing, which tool is a screwdriver? And this is a wonderful type of question that fits so well with a video learning platform. I can click here, or click here. And the good answer will be displayed. Now, maybe we don't really say I should have tweaked the image, like the color when you have the good answer. I should have done that. But I don't know if you can see it, but the one that I click on is a little bit highlighted. Maybe I could have done that a little bit better. But let's say I choose a screwdriver, submit your answer, and lo and behold, good job. This is the right answer. If I try it again, let's say I tried a hammer this time. Mistake has been made, try again. Now it shows the right answer, but you can also set it up so that it doesn't show the right answer if you failed it. And so this is it for the hotspot question. A couple of information at the end. Don't forget that instead you can set this up any way you want. So instead of having images, you could also have rectangles or circles with text in it and just be like, well, what sentence is good in this case? Or one of my personal favorite, you could have, for example, a background image of a workbench, and you could have on the workbench like 3 tools laid out any way you want, and you could be like, you could just set hotspots instead and say like, well, okay, which of the tools on the bench is the right one, and they just click on the hotspot to have the good answer. So you're really able to use the footage that you're using as you go along to set up these really nice questions. It's very easy. It took only a couple of minutes to set up, and the possibilities are endless. So this is it for the hotspot question.